From 89 to 99, I'd made my own millions and I started my own education company. Biggest mistake people make is once they have a system that makes them money, they want to scale it right away. What you're missing is the third element to success, which is the networking.
Greetings, wealth builders. Welcome to Get Diversified, your go-to podcast for all things real estate investments.
I'm Jacqueline.
Melvin Landry. We're thrilled to embark on this wealth building journey with you.
Imagine this. What if your investments not only secure your future, but also unlock a life of financial freedom? That's what we're diving into on this show. Apartment buildings, storage facilities, mobile home parks, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about investing. It's about crafting a legacy, building memories with your loved ones, and seizing every moment. Time is the currency of life. And let's be real, none of us wants to waste.
We've got the insights, experience, and dash of excitement to spice up your investing game. Plus, we'll throw in some real-life stories that'll make you see the potential in every brick and mortar.
Subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to turn your investments into the ticket to financial freedom. Together, we're not just building wealth, we're building the community of savvy investors. Let's get diversified. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Get Diversified. I am your host, Melvin Landry, and we have a great episode here coming up today. I want to introduce you to Mr. Cherif Medawar. We're having him as a guest on the show, and he's going to share his journey through funds, wholesaling, education, all things real estate. So, Cherif, welcome to the show, sir. How you doing today?
Thank you, Merv. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Well, look, hey, man, we want to thank you for being on the show. Our listeners, look, diversification is a key facet of the listener base here. And look, we like to practice what we preach, and we like to have guests on the show who are kind of seeing it, doing it, taking action, and getting results, right? You're that person, and look, we're happy to have you on. So, look, man, to start things off, man, why don't you give us a little intel into you, Cherif? Where are you located? What you got going on? And what's your forte? So I'll let you have the floor, sir.
Okay, awesome. So, basically, today I'm in Los Angeles. I do business in California, Los Angeles, and San Francisco.
Sure.
I'm based in Puerto Rico. My headquarters is in Puerto Rico. I moved to Puerto Rico many years ago because of tax incentives, and I do a lot of business in Puerto Rico. Actually, I'm the largest owner of historic properties in Old San Juan. I got over 100 million portfolio there.
Good.
And I have my own real estate fund. So we do also business developments in real estate properties, homes in Florida. So we're pretty busy. I have a great team, and I started the journey, to answer your question, by being a hotel manager. I was studying hotel business. I was working in Los Angeles at the Century Plaza Hotel. It's a very nice hotel, 5-star, 5 diamonds. And a wealthy hotel guest asked me to work for him. He was a billionaire in the name of Edmond Bessari. And one day I was barely 20 years old. And I just finished college and, hotel and finance. And he stopped me in the hotel lobby. And he said, "Hey, Cherif, I've seen you come at 6 a.m, this hotel, and you keep working till 11, 12 midnight. Well, what's your thing here? What's going on?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, sir, I don't know if you noticed, I have a golden name tag that identified me as a potential general manager. They said if I work hard for 10 years, I may make it to general manager." And he said, "I've been watching you. You're always enthusiastic, running around. I'd like you to come and work for me. You don't need to be working in a corporation like this. They tell you what to do, tell you what to say." And I said, "Work for you doing what?" And he said, "Well, I have properties around the world. I need somebody with your energy and enthusiasm to come and work for me." So I said, "Oh, I don't know anything about real estate." I remember he grabbed me by the shoulder and he said, "Cherif, you're at the right place at the right time. Just say yes." So I said yes. Sometimes you have to have faith that God put you at the right place with the right person. And the rest is history. I worked for Edmond Bessari for 8 years.
Yeah,
If you go on LinkedIn and put my name, you'll see my picture with him. I was in my mid-20s at the time, standing in front of one of his castles in Europe.
Wow.
And he was just a genius. I mean, Harvard Business School called him the man with 2 brains. But the opportunity I had was he would send me to do the deals. Like, "Hey, listen, we need to go to this place. I need you to tell them this, and we need to do that." And I was lost with the terminology, let alone the strategies.
Man.
When you have the tenacity and the will to learn and you ask the right questions of the right people, just learn very quickly. And 8 years later, I started suggesting deals for him. And then I told him I need to go. I need to do it on my own. And he said, with my blessings, just go help others. So I left.
Well,
Yeah, I left him in 88. It was beginning 89.
Okay.
And then, but from 89 to 99, I'd made my own millions and I started my own education company. I wanted to help others. And then 10 years later, like it was in 2009, I started my own real estate fund. And I started helping students to learn, helping people set up their own funds. And now I have programs even for people to start commercial real estate with practically nothing. Wholesaling, commercial to my own real estate funds.
Okay. Okay. So literally, it was what you call it a rare occurrence, or someone kind of looking at you while you didn't notice it, and the opportunity came to work with Mr. Basari, correct?
Very true. There may have been luck in getting the opportunity with him, but there was no luck in keeping it,
Understood.
And
Understood.
growing.
Yeah, right. Like when we think about money, right? It's not what you make, it's what you keep at the end of the day. Wow.
Right.
So hey, pretty cool story, man. So question. At what point you started working for Mr. Basari did the aha moment really kind of like, ooh, I could really scale, I could really grow, I saw the vision, etc. Right? Because you didn't know what you didn't know. Same with me in my real estate journey when I first started. I bought a couple of properties, but I didn't know I can scale really quickly, really fast. So when was that turnover point for you?
Believe it or not, when I met him in the lobby, he said, look, I've been looking at you, I've been observing you, and I think you remind me of when I was younger, so I need you to come and work for me. And what I will show you, you will never learn from Harvard or from any school or corporation in the world. So right there and then, I realized that God put me at the right place at the right time for a reason.
Amen.
And I said, I just have to have some faith.
Yeah.
Didn't know what was about to happen. And to your point, he went to the lobby, got me a flight ticket, and I was off on a Tuesday, Wednesday. So I flew in a few days later to meet him in New York. Then I met him in Wisconsin because he owned a resort, 400 acres, called Olympia Resort and Spa. And so I spent 3 days talking to him. And during the interview, I realized that I'm no longer going to be working for a corporation under the umbrella of Westin Hotels or Hilton or Marriott. I'm going to be working for an individual who thinks completely different, who can create things out of nothing, and who is very flexible in the way he does business. And if I don't adjust quickly and grow, self-grow, I won't make it. But right there during the interview, I realized the potential. I had that aha moment that it is a do or die. I'm going to adjust quickly. I'm going to have to really grow to contribute, or I won't make it. And the rest is history, really, because when I started working, I immediately saw the potential in everything we do. Every conversation, every communication, and that success had to do with being there, communicating properly, and adding value, helping, creating that greater good for everything you do. Not just for yourself and owners and the company, but everybody that's involved, the hotel guests, the transactions we do in real estate, the banks that want to get rid of properties, the investors who are selling, investors who are buying. So that has been the mentality, and thank God I was able to deliver, because sometimes you want to, but you can't.
Understood. A couple of things kind of spoke out to me in your insights there. You talked about your mindset, how the ability to overcome obstacles, which is key, and just always being your best at all times. Mr. Basari saw you, and he saw a knack for what you were doing, and you performed accordingly. Again, it brought opportunities to you. So that was a good insight, a good nugget takeaway in terms of kind of how the journey started, and now it's finishing pretty strong as you kind of keep going and going and going. So man, let's talk about a little bit about your your growth trajectory, right? You're in Puerto Rico, you're in Florida, you're in California.
Yes.
At what point were you able to scale across so many different state landscapes? You want to share some insights on that?
Yes. So in the beginning, you start with a strategy. So really the first thing is, what's the strategy? What am I going to do? Because there are so many ways to make money, especially in real estate. So you start with a strategy. Once you have a strategy, you realize you need a structure. because the money is in the structure, not in the strategy. You can have the best strategy, but the structure is wrong. You're paying more taxes. You have bigger liability. You don't have the people with you. You just end up working harder and harder. There's only so much of you. There is so much unit of time, unit of knowledge, unit of money, unit of credit. You can only do so much. So once you have the right structure, first of all, you can protect yourself. You can get better loans. You can get better opportunities with the right structure. So you have strategy and then the structure. As soon as you have the structure, you got to have a system. What can I do repetitively with a predictable result? So now you have the strategy, the structure, and the system. The biggest mistake people make is once they have a system that makes them money, they want to scale it right away. Well, there is a step before scaling when you have a system, which is automating. So the automation is what? Is when you step back and you have the team, the tools, the training, and the actual technology to help you. Technology as processes.
Yep.
See?
Process, yeah.
So if I have a system, I needed to immediately realize that I'm making money. I need to get somebody to actually be the project manager for the properties we renovate. I need to have the right contractors with them. I need to get them the right tools. I need to give them the credit cards. I need to give them the cameras in the property so I can supervise from a distance, etc. So once I had the system, I automated it, and I was able to produce more money with less unit of time and effort. And part of the structure is creating the real estate funds where investors want to invest with me, etc. So then after that, once you automate, you can scale, and you can scale to the critical mass of whatever the market you're dealing with. Like in San Francisco, I deal with luxury homes. You can only do 6-7 homes at a time because these are like from $5 to $10 million homes. You can do $60 to $70 million in rehab. More than that is too much for me because I also do developments in Florida, which is ground up development, and I have commercial mixed use properties in Puerto Rico. So each market, I have the team, and I have the right structure, and I have the right critical mass of how much I'm going to grow. And after that, the final step is sustainability. So you go strategy, structure, system, automation, and then you can go to scale and sustainability. And I'm in the stage of sustainability. It's just pushing over here, supervising there. And I'm able to step back, and the momentum itself carries itself. But now it's easy for me to say it. I've been in the business several decades. I started, I was 20, and now I'm in my 60s, and I have all the energy in the world because I'm excited about what I do.
So even look, in your 60s, you sound like you're fired up. I can see the motivation in the way you talk and the way you deliver. So look, man, this is inspiring. I'll tell you why, right? So, listening to your journey, how you kind of kick-started, kind of where you are, where you're going, and you're still fired up. Look, for those who are out there who don't know where to get started, doesn't know how to get started, you should pay attention to this podcast. Look, Cherif is still pushing forward in his 60s. And look, the sky's the limit. He's involved in an array of different avenues, different aspirations of real estate. He's in real estate. He's in education. He's providing value, and he's bringing it, and he's keep doing it day in and day out, which is pretty cool to see. So, man, so you think, man, let's talk a little bit about your viewpoint and your vision on education. Why is it important? And if someone's new, getting started, what would you tell them? What would you tell someone who's doing as much as you? $100 million, $200 million in assets. If you could lend a piece of advice to that individual, what would you tell them?
Got it. A great question. So from the novice to the advanced person. So the novice, I always look at how can you start something that is scalable? Like if you're going to start in residential small homes in, let's say, Ohio or Michigan or something like this, you can scale so much. You're going to have a lot of homes. You're going to have to do a lot of transactions. It's like, what kind of grind do you want to have? Is the grind going to be in wholesaling? That's a lot of marketing. That's a lot of talking. That's a lot of staff. That's a lot of too many activities, too many moving parts. Sooner or later, that motion will lower your emotion and will get the best out of you, will drain the living life out of you. The condition of power in business is what are the least amount of activities and actions I can take that can produce the maximum result with residual value and compounding results. And once you figure that out, you have the formula of success, okay? Because you're going to have some knowledge and you're going to take action. And some people get stuck with knowledge and action. Knowledge. Some people just get a lot of knowledge. They will listen to your podcast. You do a great job with these. I watched your channels. Pretty impressive.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And you're going to grow it great, Merv, with your wife. I mean, you guys do a great job because you're bringing good people, as evidenced by bringing me.
You're here, man. Wanted you to be here. So all good. All
truly,
good.
I listened to some great people that brought it, and it takes a while to build it. But the thing is, the knowledge, some people get stuck with knowledge. They keep acquiring knowledge and they get scared of taking action. So knowledge without action is not going to happen. And then some people get the knowledge, go take action. They work so hard. The grind is too hard. So I tell to the novice, what you're missing is the third element to success, which is the networking. Because once you network, knowing the right people, your life, let's say your journey is 20 years to make $1 million. All of a sudden, you know the right person, it's going to take you 10 years. You're now knowing the right person. You're getting the right knowledge, taking the right action is going to take you 5 years. The 5 years now is going to compound. What's going to happen in 10 and 20 is going to surprise the heck out of you. My friends are still in the hotel business. I started in the hotel business. Some of my friends are still working at the Century Plaza Hotel 40 years later. And they brag about how many months they have vacation days and the payments they have on the nice car that they just bought. And I don't understand that. They're still hacking 10, 12 hours a day. Okay?
That's not freedom.
Nothing is wrong with having a job. Yeah, nothing is wrong with having a job. I respect that. I started with a job. As a matter of fact, the best combination is have a job with a salary and a little bonus. What do you do on the side to leverage your time and energy, especially the first 5 to 10 years of your life, will make a whole difference on the next 50 years of your life. That's why some people by their 30s are making big money, and some people are still trying to find their way around when they're in their 40s or 50s.
No,
But
that's real. That's real.
So the novice, for example, so I created a program, the education company, to mention that. I wanted to teach people because I wanted to make it a little easier for somebody else, because I figured nobody's going to work as hard as I did. I worked around the clock. I was working with Bisari. I mean, I would go from place to place. 15 hours a day. 13-hour days was not unusual, traveling a lot, etc. I was single till I was 38 years old. That's how hard I worked.
Okay.
So the thing is, what happens right now is I created programs where I can tell people, let's go and wholesale commercial real estate. I can give you a very specific strategy. May I?
Sure. Listeners would love to hear this. Go ahead.
So I train people on a specific type of commercial properties. I like the single tenant standalone buildings. Those are like, let's say, Jack in the Box or a Starbucks. It's a standalone building, but it's vacant. The Jack in the Box is gone. So it's sitting there and it has a sign for sale, or vacant, available. And I train people. I said, identify that building on a busy street. You need 25,000 cars per day plus.
Per day. Okay.
I say to them, put it under contract. Let's say they want 800,000 for it. It's vacant, sitting vacant. So it's not valued too high. And you can call the broker and you can say, listen, I'm very interested in the building. I'd like to buy it, but my offer is 700,000. You're going to negotiate. Put it under contract. Automatically, commercial properties, you have like 45 to 60 days due diligence. Let's say they just give you 45 days. You put it under contract. So now you have 45 days for due diligence. But you don't spend your time on due diligence. You spend your time smiling and dialing on the big tenants. And there are many big tenants in the United States. And you call them. Hi, my name is Cherif Medawar. I have this property at 123 Camino Real. It's 2,000 square feet. It used to be Jack in the Box. They got the kitchen. They got this. They got that. I'd like to rent it to you. Call me back if you're interested. You take a little video. You take the information, you send it to them by email. All these tenants, you can get them from social media and all this. I have lists. Like when I train people, I give them the script with the broker. I give them proof of funds from my real estate fund. I give them the actual tenant list with all the information, who to contact, the size of space they want, who they want to be next to. I mean, I make it very easy, but in general, I just want to explain the concept. So they get the building under contract. They start smiling and dialing. And they got 45 days to do it. Do it intensely the first 10 days. All you need is one tenant to call you back. Let's say it's, I don't know, take Subway. Subway calls back and leaves you a message, or they send you an email. Hey, we're very interested in the location. We like the vehicle per day traffic. We like the neighboring tenants. We looked up the numbers on that location, because these people, they have the software. They can see what's going on with other, what's called QSR, quick service restaurants.
Quick service restaurant, yeah.
And they're really growing like crazy. You can see during COVID, even they were the only segment that did what. And then you call them back and you say, okay, they say, well, how much do you want for the location? Let's say you say, I want 8,300 a month. So it's 100,000 a year. And they say, okay, we like the location. For them, location is everything, because they don't have to pay marketing fees if the traffic is in front of the place.
Traffic is there.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happens is you write a letter of intent. I train people on how to do it. I usually get on these conference calls with the tenants. We just did a call yesterday with Hertz Rent-A-Car for a location in Florida. And we negotiate what's called a triple net lease. Triple net
Lease.
means they come in, they pay the tax, insurance, and maintenance on top of the actual lease. They sign 10 to 15-year leases with the escalations, a 3% increase, and they give us corporate guarantees. We're dealing with the big tenants. So what happens is, now I have a property under contract for $700,000. I have a letter of intent that the tenant's going to come in, pay $100,000 a year. Go take that rent per year, the base rent, $100,000. They pay the triple net, the tax and insurance on top of that. Take that rent, do times 16 is what the value of the building becomes. The building becomes worth $1.6 million. So I have a property under contract at $700,000, and now it's worth $1.6 million instantly. I didn't have to wait 10 years. I didn't have to do rehab. I didn't have to buy an apartment building and manage the buildings. I see people working the grind so hard, and actually they believe in what they do, and I'm happy for them. I mean, I'm practically the only guy in the country that does what I'm telling you, and that does that training and offers people, here's the proof of fund. When you call the broker, you tell them I have proof of funds. I'll send you, we're going to buy it cash, because my fund has millions and I have to deploy the capital. So the way we do it, get that property under contract, line up the national tenant. When you have the letter of intent, I tell them, now you can buy it yourself. Go buy it for $700,000. You're going to put $150,000 down payment, and then you're going to flip it at $600,000 profit, $500,000 profit, $400,000. I have over 1,000 video success stories on YouTube. There's no educational company in the United States that has been doing this as long as I have, with as many success stories. You don't have to believe, just put my name on YouTube.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I've seen
Number
I've
two,
seen that.
let's say the person is new. He says, Cherif, I got a job. I want to do this. And you hear all kinds of situations how people want to start and make it big, because life gets harder. Okay,
It
if you
does.
don't. So I tell them, okay, they come to a training. So they come in, they join I call it joint venture program. I train the person. Here is the type of property, the 15 ideal things we're looking for a property. We need 15 criteria. Here is the script when you call a broker, how they can take you seriously, because these are commercial brokers that don't have time to play games. Boom, boom. I'm working with a real estate fund. I'm going to send you proof of funds. We're buying all cash. You can verify it right now. Here's what we need to do. Broker immediately puts it under contract for you. Next thing you know, we use the brokers who are listing the properties. We don't use our brokers to go
Other brokers.
The listing
makes
brokers, because
sense.
then you want them to represent both parties. It goes a lot quicker, etc. And then I give them a list of 4,500 national tenants with all the info they want. Who to contact, the size of the space, who they want to be the neighboring tenant. I show them how to make a video, because we go inside, make a little video, make an email. I verify the email for them. They deal with me directly. They don't deal with any of my team members. This is something I do directly with the joint venture partners. We limited per city in the United States how many we have. And then they start smiling and dining. They call, they leave certain message. They send an email. I show them how to do it. And all we need is one tenant to call back and say, I want to discuss further about this location. That's when that student of mine, that joint venture partner, sends me the email. We set up a Zoom call. We go on a call and we discuss the details. And I offer these tenants what's called tenant improvement. Like, okay, Subway, you want to come in? You're going to pay the $100,000 a year. They say, well, we'll pay the $100,000 a year, but you got to give us $150,000 to. I'll give you the $150,000. If the property's under contract, $700,000, and I'm going to give them $150,000 tenant improvement to make it easy for them to open the store. My total cost is $1 million. Is $850. But at 100,000, the property will become worth $1.6 million. Because how did I come up with the 16 times the rent? How did I come up with that? Because when you have a Subway, when you have these national tenants that are leasing for 10 to 15 years, other people buy these properties at 5 and 6% cap. 6% cap.
Yeah.
$60,000 on $1 million purchase. If you pay $1 million for a property, and it's netting 60,000 triple net. That means the tenant is paying you $5,000 a month. 60,000 the first year, 60,000 plus 3%, 60,000. So it's become 61,800. Then it compounds, and the debt keeps getting paid down. And the banks love to give you a loan, even if you had bankruptcy, they'll give you the loan because that is a corporate guarantee by a national company, publicly traded. I've had people tell me, I'm new in the United States, I'm trying to make it. They will give you a loan. They will give you the loan.
Believe it or not, they will, yes.
But sadly, you still have to put a down payment. So a lot of my new students say, I want to get into the program. They put the deal under contract with $5,000 that's refundable. And they can assign, once we have the tenant interested, I go on the call, I offer them the actual tenant improvement money, we close the deal. So the property goes from 700,000 to $1.6 million. Okay, how much is that? That's 900,000 increase in value. I pay that student who lined up the deal, even though I'm paying for the money, I'm giving the proof of fund, I'm giving the training, they're dealing with me. I give them 10% of the upside. So on 900,000, they get $90,000. Lowest commissions we paid was $36,000 because it went up 360,000. From the purchase price we locked in, and there is a formula for that. I tell them the formula, there are some secret sauces here, but I'm just giving you the idea.
Sure.
To the valuation itself, we make it so easy for these tenants to come in. And let me create a problem. Let's say the person gets the training. He goes out there, he gets the property, puts it under contract because he's using my proof of funds, my credibility, etc. And he says, I represent the fund. We give them the document, give them even a business card, etc. They put the property under contract. And they start smiling and dialing for 44 days of the 45 days they have it under contract. And not one tenant calls them back. Are they stuck to buy? They put $5,000 of their own money in escrow. Guess what?
It's not refundable. It's not. So, I mean...
It's refundable. Earnest money deposit is refundable. So 45 days, he can cancel on the 45th day. She can cancel on the 45th day. Get a full refund. So it's a strategy with no downside, an absolute upside. And after they do the first deal, guess what they do the second deal? They got the money. They got the experience. They still have access to me. And what they do then on the second deal forward is they do the deals for themselves. Because now they have the money for down payment. Now they know how to even structure it with transactional money. Now they can even partner with other people. So what we've done is I've attracted not just the novice, but some people that are way advanced. I've had people that own apartment buildings told me, I sold the apartment building because I'm doing the strategy with you. But Cherif, I'm not going to assign to you the deal. Just help me negotiate the contract. And because we have in-house attorneys and all this. And I want to actually do the deals for myself. Because the triple net, they pay you, you don't have to do anything. That's why I'm free. That's how I ended up owning so many buildings. You can go to CREPR.com, commercialrealestatepuertorico.com. I own 33 commercial buildings that are with big tenants like Sunglass Hut, Coach, Anita Gelato. Some of the biggest corporations in the world. I put the buildings under contract for a couple $1 million, brought in the big tenant, building is worth $3.5 million. There is an upstairs as well. We put it Airbnb, put this. I took an inventory of maybe worth $25 million. It's been 20 years that I'm there. And now that portfolio is worth over $100 million. Now people tell me, why do you keep going? Well, what do you want me to do? Sit by the beach all day? I'm in the game and I like training people and they bring me the deals and they win and I win. How can I not do it?
Too good to be true, right? I mean, when you think about it, when you put a system in place, you've automated, you've made sure that all the respective parameters are in place, and now you're well running machine. So it's turning. You got the relationships as well, right? So, so why not? So, man, fantastic segment in terms of how you built it, where you started, which was in a hotel lobby. You got notice and your mindset clicked and you took action, which is key, right? Exactly. Fantastic.
And the network was the billionaire to meet first, to learn. and then took action when I left him. And then what happened is with the networking, as I wanted to help others. And in life, the more you give, the more you get. But I was giving out of faith. I just thought to myself, okay, I made money now. Maybe I should do some tithing. I should, I always wanted to give back, but, you could only give time if you don't have anything else. And time was scarce because I had to work like crazy. But then when I started doing the training in 2009, when the economy collapsed, I was making money still because I realized the opportunity. So I was buying. So in my trainings, I was doing a training at the San Mateo Marriott next to San Francisco Airport. And I remember I was showing the transaction, how I bought this property at 400 and I did this, and I sold it at 500 less than 30 days later. So I'm showing the closing statement. I'm saying everybody can talk, but I'll show you the numbers. I'll show you the strategy. And I had like 100 people in the room. This guy raised his hand and he said, Cherif, I've been watching you for years. I love what you do. But if I make a mistake, I'm going to get a divorce. I said, oh my God. I'm like, what did she ask? So I said, what's your question? He said, can I just give you my money and you do it for me?
That works too.
It threw me off. So I jokingly, I asked the audience, I said, okay, how many people just want to give me the money? Like to prove him wrong. The whole audience raised their hands.
Wow.
What am I doing? I'm training them. Most of them are so busy being engineers or software developers or whatever in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, San Jose. So I said, write down, if I set up a real estate fund right now, how much will you give me and what's a realistic return you want? Merv, the rest is history. In 2009, by July 9, 2009, I set up my first real estate fund. And I thought I'm going to raise $5 million in 1 year. We raised $5 million in the first 90 days.
Okay.
And the fund has been up and running. These are not syndication. Syndication is when you have one structure to buy one property. Okay, so you buy one building or one triple net. When I set up a fund, it's like a mutual fund. So I set it up ongoing. And people can join it with as little as $25,000. And in the fund, I have single tenant buildings. I have rehab commercial properties. I have repositioning commercial properties that bring income. We have the mixed-use properties in Puerto Rico. We have the developments in Florida. So somebody comes in, $25,000, $1 million, $3 million, whatever they want to put into the fund, I pay them steady returns, 6 and 8%, etc.
Diversification.
So it was the opportunity to grow with others. And then I started training people how to set up their own funds because people told me, now I did the deal, I see more deals, but I don't have more money.
Yeah.
You have the experience now. It doesn't have to be like an expert in real estate, just did one deal. So I help people set up their own real estate funds. So people that have done 1 or 2 deals, they can set up now. We give it to them turnkey. We give them the paperwork. I give them a training how to raise capital privately and public presentations. And I help them scale. And we've been doing so well with this. And we charge as a package with the attorneys, because my in-house attorneys, with the attorney structure, ongoing funds, debt funds where you don't have to sell the properties, you keep them for yourself and your family, you create a legacy. All this less than any attorney in the United States. I dare anybody to compete. We've been doing it for the last 8 years, and we scaled it like crazy. And we've had administrative audits with the SEC, and everything is growing very well. So if you're starting, here's an idea. Listen how we do wholesale commercial. If you're growing or you want to do syndication, let's get you to a better structure, which is called a real estate fund. And it's a debt fund. And I can talk about that a whole other session. I don't want to deviate. But this is how I was able to grow and contribute, which is what life is all about.
It's all about grow, contribute, give back. If you give, you shall receive. So Cherif, man, fantastic interview. Good to understand your journey and kind of how you're growing and how you're progressing. So, man, look, as we kind of wrap up, again, share with the listeners, how can folks find you?
Okay, it's easy. Actually, the best way is to deal with my vice president, Ashley Jones. She's been with me over 20 years in this journey. Okay. People can actually go to, you can see the spelling of my name, cherifmedawar.com.
Okay.
CHERIFMEDAWAR.com.
Yep.
Or they can go to my company called Cherif Medawar Real Estate Investing, which is CMREI.com. Directly to reach her, Ashley at CMREI.com, which is ASHLEE at cmrei.com. And the phone number is 844-720-1031. Again, 844-720-1031. And
All right.
I'd love to hear from people. They can see my programs. They can go on YouTube and see what I got. But Murph, thank you for the exposure. Thank you for the time. And I really like your work, and I wish you the best of luck and in your growth and your journey.
Hey, man, thanks very much. Hey, Cherif, it has been indeed a pleasure to hear your story, your journey, how it started in the lobby. Someone had their eye on you, and you took action, and your trajectory is still going, even into your 60s. So I'm maybe a little bit younger than you, but look, I'm trying to get there as well. So, hey, Cherif, on behalf of myself and my wife, Jacqueline, the Moral Land Equity team, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.